You worked really hard on your hand knits, and sometimes it can be really scary to wear them because you don't want to damage them. But with the right care and know-how, you can wear your hand knit sweaters as often as you want. This video will show you everything that you need to know so that you can do that without fear and for a very, very long time. There will be timestamps down in the description below so that you can jump to any section based on what your hand knits need. And with that said, let's get into it. Sweater care starts before you even wear it. Always, always, always save some yarn from your project. This is so that you can repair your hand knits down the road. You may not need it for years, but it's really good to have on hand. That way, when the time comes, you don't have to go hunting for a similar yarn at the store or order something online and it ends up not being a good color match. If the worst were to happen, such as moth holes, snags, or rips, you'll be able to repair them seamlessly. To extend the life of your sweaters, consider wearing a thin layer underneath. You might already do this for comfort if your garment is knit with a rustic fiber such as Norwegian or Icelandic wool, but it also helps extend the wear time between washes. Washing my wool sweaters feels like a big event, so I'm personally not really excited to do it. So being able to wear it as many times as possible between washes is a big plus for me. Spot clean between washes. Do not let the spills sit for a long time. Address them as soon as you possibly can. My first line of defense for spot cleaning is clear dish soap. Don't use another color because it can stain your fabric. I've personally experienced this and you just end up creating more stains that you have to remove. Dish soap can break down oil and water-based spills, so I always try this first before using more aggressive cleaners. From the right side, carefully wipe and lift the stain with a towel. Take off the garment, turn it inside out, and set the stain on top of a towel. Working entirely from the wrong side, wet the spill and put a few drops of soap on it. Massage the soap into the fibers until it gets foamy and soapy and let it sit for a minute or two. Working from the wrong side of the fabric pushes the stain out the way it came rather than accidentally pushing it deeper into the fabric. It also helps prevent pilling on the right side. There are lots of different ways to depill. My two favorite ways are a fabric shaver and embroidery scissors. I bought the shaver online a few years ago and it served me pretty well. When you're using a shaver like this, use a flat surface and don't press down too hard or you risk nicking the fabric and cutting a strand of yarn. Also, these generally aren't super powerful, so empty it a few times during the depilling. I notice when mine fills up, it stops cutting the pills effectively. The other way I like to depill is with these little snips. It definitely takes longer, but you have more control. If you run your hand over the fabric, you can probably feel bumps that aren't necessarily pills yet. Leave these or else you risk damaging the yarn. When you find a pill, gently pull the pill up and clip the few fibers that are securing it to the sweater. I really prefer this method for my mohair sweaters where I don't want to accidentally cut all the mohair and I just want to spot remove the pills. Lastly, don't forget the pills on the cuffs, the neck edge, and the hem. Removing these goes a long way for keeping your sweater looking nice and new. One of my cats used my sweater as a bed the other day and of course made biscuits on it, so let's fix those snags. Get yourself a knitting needle or a tapestry needle and a pair of tweezers. For all my baddies out there, long fingernails are also super helpful. When you have a snag, just check that there aren't any broken yarns. If there is, save that one for later and we'll repair it together. If it's a true snag, here's what to do. Snags are really easy to fix. They're essentially a stitch with more yarn than the others. So we need to redistribute that excess into the nearby stitches. Carefully find the leg of the next stitch in that row and give it a gentle tug with your tapestry needle or knitting needle. Use your needle to follow the yarn down the row and continue working the excess into the nearby stitches until everything is evened out. You can work that yarn into the stitches before the snag too. After you fix the snag, gently steam it. Or if you plan on washing your sweaters, fix all your snags beforehand. This will reset the yarn because sometimes it gets crimped from being snagged. So steaming or washing your sweater afterward, it's going to help set that yarn's new shape. Okay, if your snag is actually a broken thread or yarn, here's how to fix that. Get out that spare yarn that we talked about in the beginning of the video and cut a strand about the length of your forearm. Thread that onto a tapestry needle and we're going to use the duplicate stitch to reinforce that broken stitch. From the right side, follow the existing broken stitch with your needle and duplicate stitch over it. Start a few stitches before and duplicate a couple of stitches after it too. Bring the tails to the wrong side or just tie knots if you feel chaotic like me. Now we've reinforced the broken stitch so it's no longer a weak spot in the fabric. Okay, we're gonna go over how to wash your hand knits. It's really similar to wet blocking if you've done that before. Here's what you'll need. A container that can hold a few gallons of water, a big towel, I personally used a beach towel, soap of your choice, and a source of water. Get a container big enough for your sweater and fill it 1/2 to 2/3 of the way. I prefer to use warm water. I don't use a specific temperature, it just feels warm to the touch. You can also use cold water, just don't use hot or you increase the risk of felting. For soap, this is my favorite. It's rinse optional, which means a lot less work and less water waste. It's also plant-based and it smells amazing. Not sponsored, I just really love this stuff. Follow the instructions on your soap to add the right amount and make sure it's totally mixed in. Okay, add your knit. If you're washing multiple sweaters, just do them one at a time. Sometimes you can reuse the water unless a sweater is really soiled. Just be careful of any dye running because that can happen when you're washing and you don't want to stain your other sweaters. Gently compress the knit so the air gets pressed out and it's fully saturated. Your knit will get really heavy at this point, so be careful to support it and not just lift it from one spot. Now gently squish the fabric in different spots to swish the water in and out. Don't rub the fabric against itself. We want to prevent friction as much as possible. Our goal is just to flush the fabric with the water rather than heavily agitate it. Let it soak for 10 to 15 minutes, then come back and squish your sweater one more time. Get a towel ready nearby and gently squeeze the water out as much as you can, starting at one end and moving to the other. Do not wring it. This is your grip strength workout for the day. Your knit is going to be really heavy still, so just let the squeezed part rest on the towel as you work on the rest, because if you try to hold it up, it can stretch out from its own weight and become distorted. Okay, get your big towel ready and lay it out on the floor. Carefully move your sweater over there and lay it out flat. It doesn't need to be perfectly reshaped yet, just make sure there aren't any big wrinkles or folds. Okay, fold the towel in half, sandwich in your sweater, and roll it up. Now you're gonna step on it a lot and stand on it. I really recommend not wearing socks, just wear shoes or go barefoot. I'm wearing my slippers because you don't get that for free. Step over every part of it multiple times, then flip it over and step on it some more. Now you can just unroll it and lay it flat to dry. Reshape it like you normally would when you're blocking a sweater. You can even use blocking mats if you have them. I have this really nifty drying rack with multiple mesh layers that I can hang up, so I'm gonna use this since I'm washing a couple of sweaters. Depending on temperature and humidity, these can take a while to dry, so just flip them in a few hours if you're drying them on a solid surface. Washing sweaters really does feel like a sport, and let me tell you, I am not a big sports person. Okay, storing your knits properly is just as important as washing them. Always fold your sweaters. Do not hang them because that can cause them to deform over time and create bumps on the shoulders that are really hard, if not impossible, to remove. You don't want to end up like this. If you're storing your knits for an extended period of time, such as putting them away during the warmer months, I like to put them in these garment bags where they can remain folded. I'm paranoid about moths, so I put some cedar planks in and around them on my shelves. Mothballs are also an option, but as we've learned here, they smell really bad. Don't be afraid to wear your hand knits. You worked really hard on them and they deserve to be loved, worn, and shown off. I hope you found some valuable information in this video, and if you did, please consider subscribing. It would mean a lot to me. If there's anything that I did not cover in this video that you want me to talk about, leave a comment down below. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye. Is there anything you'd like to add? You hear that?